CNN Philippines had an engaging, enlightening, and definitely intense senatorial debate last Saturday held in UST. But just like any other narrative, the debate also had its particular highs. At what points did it all become especially heated and got some candidates all riled up? Well, joining us on New Day is our correspondent Joyce Ilas to discuss and dissect with us the flashpoints of the debate. Morning, Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
Good morning. It's nice to be back here today.
Nakapahinga ka ba? You were really busy during the weekend. We were all there at the UST, of course, the Quadricentennial Pavilion. First, Joyce, let's take a closer look at the debate. You got a closer look at the debate. You were there. Tell us more about your general impression of the event, from the discussions, the way the candidates performed, to the, of course, the audience's reactions, your general observations, basically.
Well, the debate was very exciting. It was very engaging, very informative. What is really nice about this debate is that we see real emotions from our candidates, because we always hear them say, these are our plans, these are the things we stand for. But during that debate, we saw how passionate they really are about the things that they stand for. We asked several polarizing questions, and we had 11 candidates, and we saw the differences in their stance. We had 4 pro-administration candidates who tried their best to really defend the government's agenda, and 7 opposition candidates, 6 from Ocho Derecho and 1 Nery Colmenares, who criticized, I think, constructively the agenda of the government. And then as for the audience, they were very, very energetic. I think what the audience watching at home couldn't really hear clearly was that pati yung mga audience, kasi naririnig lang nila, minsan nila parang hiniheckle lang yung mga pro-administration candidates. I think what they failed to hear from their houses is that marami ring nag-cheer sa mga pro-administration candidates.
Yeah, they definitely had they brought their supporters to the venue. Well, of course, you know, we go to the part where the debate got super exciting and really intense. Can you share with us when it became heated up? What was the topic, the specific question at that point, and then who were the candidates involved?
One of the most hotly debated topics was the Philippine-China relations, and then the loans, Chinese loans, the possibility of Chinese debt trap. So by the time we started discussing the war on drugs, mainit na talaga yung emosyon nila. Former PNP Chief Bato de la Rosa was already angry by that time. When we discussed the war on drugs, it was initially a face-off between former PNP Chief Bato de la Rosa, who initially led the war on drugs, and also Dean Shell Jokno, who is a human rights lawyer. So the question was, where are we now on the war on drugs? And then Bato de Rosa said that we are still far from being a drug-free country, but that we have greatly improved as compared to before. He said, for example, during the previous administrations, drugs are manufactured here in the country. We had Shabu labs, but now we no longer manufacture Shabu, but we are still importing drugs from China. But for Jokno, he said that the problem with the war on drugs is that the target are the poor people, and that he believes that the drug lords are being spared because the government is actually scared of these drug lords. I think we can show them a part of that debate.
The big problem is, ang tinitira nila ay puro mga maliliit na pusher. Ang tinitira nila puro mahihirap. Nasaan ang mga drug lord?
If you wage a war on drugs, you cannot be selective in implementation of justice. Hindi mo pwede sabihin, hindi natin yan trabahuin dahil mahirap lang yan. Unahin natin yung mayaman. Hindi natin pwede sabihin, unahin ang mayaman, mamaya na yung mahirap. Pag sinabi mo war on drugs, ratsada yan lahat, tatamaan dapat.
Nauna tayo, sir, sa killing before prevention. So ang aking problema, sir, strengthen, before makisawsaw ka, sir, sa war on drugs, sawsawan mo muna yung strengthening the pillars of justice system.
Well, of course, related to the war on drugs is the equally intense and contentious issue on the death penalty. And this also triggered pretty passionate exchanges. How did the candidates stand on death penalty?
So the way we handled the question on death penalty was that our hosts asked our candidates to stand on two sides. One for those in favor of the death penalty, and then another for the stand on the other side if you are against the reimposition of the death penalty. Four candidates, all of them pro-administration candidates, said that they are in favor of the death penalty. Alunan, Glenn Chong, Bato de la Rosa, and J.V. Ejercito. Alunan said that he is in favor of reimposing death penalty, but not only for drug traffickers, but also for those who committed heinous crimes or crimes against humanity. But for De La Rosa and Ejercito, they said that the death penalty should only be for drug traffickers. Now, on the other side, we had 7 opposition candidates saying that they are against the reimposition of the death penalty. And then we also had Gary Alejano and Samira Gutok saying that with the number of killings we have now, it's practically, we already have a death penalty in our streets. Now, I think it is important also to point out now, although we only had 4 pro-administration and there are more critics of the government, we invited a number of senatorial candidates, even a number of pro-administration candidates, because of course we want to hear their side on issues such as this, very polarizing issues. But then they turned down our invitation, so we only had 11.
Joyce, thank you so much for waking up really early this Monday morning. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.